When I walked in, I saw some product that I've never seen. Every store looks the same. You've got vendors no one else has.
I am attracted to the unusual and the different, something special.
How did you get from having a beautiful eye and knowing what you wanted to being able to actually achieve having your own business in California?
It hasn't been easy, but nothing worth having is easy.
It's really very difficult to find someone in California that has the ability to refinish or upholster. You have people in-house.
We truly have artisans, and we're very blessed to have them because we can do basically anything.
Mark, thank you so much for asking me to come and talk with you.
Thank you.
One of the things that I love about you is because, first of all, you're so sophisticated, but we also have a lot of things in common with our backgrounds and the way we grew up, you know, in more of a country setting. So tell me how your inspiration began.
Okay, so I actually grew up on a farm in Alabama, a horse farm. My dad is a huge horse man, and we had about 80 acres and 40 horses, and that's my dad's hobby and passion. So that's how I grew up. Nothing to do with design. However, I always had a passion for it. My dad's sister had the most beautiful home I've ever seen. I still remember that as a little boy going to her house and just being blown away by what she could do. And it inspired me. And from a really young age, I knew what I wanted to do. As a young boy, my dad would say, "You're going to work for me," and I would say no. My mom said, "You're going to be a chiropractor." I said no. I always knew I wanted to be in the design and the furniture business as well. As a kid, to me, that looked like I was going to have two businesses side by side. Whereas now it's integrated design and furniture. It's all under one roof.
Well, I've known you since I moved to Southern California, and I remember where you were before you had your own business. Mm-hmm. Well, how has your inspiration changed, and how did you get from having a beautiful eye and knowing what you wanted to being able to actually achieve having your own business in California? I mean, that's a really commendable act.
It hasn't been easy, but nothing worth having is easy. When I met you, I was working for someone else, and that was great. I learned a lot. But about 13 years ago, I had an opportunity to go out on my own and have been ever since.
Has your aesthetic changed at all?
My aesthetic has changed quite a bit. When I first started out in this business, and you can attest to this, I was 100% traditional. I wouldn't even consider anything that was contemporary or modern. Now, even my own home is modern. So my taste has definitely changed, which I think is a good thing. Change is good. We all get tired of the same thing. I still love traditional, but I also love modern.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can do anything, and I enjoy doing a variety of things.
One of the things that I think is the most difficult and very few people can do is bring in traditional with modern and bring it all together. You clearly have the ability to do all of that. How do you work with a client that's trying to mesh maybe what they have that they love but is not current anymore, and they want to move a little bit forward but blend it together?
Yeah, most people have something that they want to keep, or that is a family heirloom, or just something that they're attached to. We always find a way to integrate that and to make it look and feel special to them, because it is special to them. So whether that means we're going to refinish it or reupholster it or do nothing to it, but we always respect their wishes and try to make it as beautiful as we can.
You just mentioned refinishing and reupholstering, and I'm in a business where we have factories in North Carolina and Virginia, and it's really very difficult to find someone in California that has the ability to refinish or upholster, and you have people in-house.
Yes, we have people in-house to do refinishing and reupholstery. We truly have artisans. and we're very blessed to have them because we can do basically anything.
I know you can.
Yeah.
And that's spectacular. Very few people have the ability to do that. Tell me, if I asked you to help me with a room in my home, and I love sofas because my husband and I think they're comfortable, how would you help us find something that would also move us into the future design-wise?
Within the last couple of years, there's a completely new fabric line, which is called Krypton or Sunbrella, and those
All the
are
performance fabrics.
Performance fabrics. They are wonderful. If you have a messy husband, or if you have kids or dogs or all of the above, those fabrics are soft, comfortable, cleanable.
That's amazing that you have the ability to do all that, and all in one place. So you've got your back end. When things come in, it never leaves off your store unless it's perfect. Then are you on site when you deliver and set?
If it's a design project, I try to always go and be involved in the setup. So I will go on the initial house call. I'll be involved in the design process, and the delivery portion, or the install, is actually my favorite part. That's when I have the most fun, and the client gets to see their vision come to life.
What are some of your favorite stories of helping someone furnish their home?
One particular story stands out. It was a Newport Beach home, and they wanted to remodel the upstairs as well as the powder room downstairs. So this was a 3-bedroom upstairs remodel going to a 2-bedroom with a walk-in master closet. And so we reconfigured the upstairs, we remodeled the downstairs powder, and the catch was they were going on vacation or out of the country for 5 weeks. So we had to start to finish in 5 weeks.
Wow.
It almost killed me. The contractors, the subcontractors wanted to kill me. But when the clients came home, not only was it done, the house was clean, sheets were clean on the bed, and there was groceries in the refrigerator.
Wow.
They were blown away.
Yeah, I bet. What an honor to be able to do all those things for someone. Well, I was just actually thinking about when I drove up today, I hadn't been here for 6 or 8 weeks, and you're outside of your building, the inside is spectacular. And I asked you, what architect do you use? You guys are able to do everything. I mean, from lighting to outlets to everything. How do you work with all your contractors?
We can work 2 ways. One is you could bring us your needs or your desires, and we can facilitate all of the necessary tradespeople to do it. We can manage the project, or we can work with the people that you know and trust as well. So we can do everything from a new sofa or just a lamp to completely new ground up construction.
That's amazing. Do you have you had many clients where you just started with, say, maybe a guest room, and then over the years you've built their whole home?
Absolutely. It has started with, I just need some lamps, to 12 years later, we've done everything from the complete interior to the exterior to a relative's home.
Yeah, amazing. That's great. The outside of your store is beautiful.
Thank you.
With the outdoors. And I saw videos of your outdoor at your home. That's a whole nother way to expand someone's living lifestyle.
Yeah, especially in California, it's all about outdoor living or indoor outdoor living. And, you have to take advantage of that. The best part of living in Southern California is the ability to basically live outside most of the year. So we try to make the transition from indoor to outdoor seamless.
What would you say one of the biggest jobs you've done that you're most proud of? And if you had to change your client's perspective on something?
I think the one that I mentioned, the 5-week remodel, that was something I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Changing perspective, actually happens a lot. Sometimes you get lucky and, the husband and the wife will be on the same page, but most of the time they're not. So it's my job to find a way to find out what, will make person A happy and person B happy.
I hear that a lot. I hear people, that wife and the husband, like 90% of the time they have different visions. So you're also, besides your design, you're also the bridge to make that marriage or that partnership work.
Yeah, I'm an unpaid therapist. I'm thinking of one particular couple, and, the wife is very on board with everything. The husband's very against everything. This isn't the way he wants to spend his time. However, after going through, actually just starting the process, I made him feel comfortable. He felt heard. I found ways to compromise that his wife agreed to. He was surprised. She was surprised. And that's when I feel like I've done my job, is when I can make everybody happy.
That's beautiful, because oftentimes you go in there to do design, but what you end up doing is creating a beautiful living aesthetic for a couple that maybe would never have been able to achieve that without you.
Exactly. And a lot of people say we've waited, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years to do this because we don't agree. If we had met sooner, you could have enjoyed the last 3, 5, 10 years more. So those are the situations where I feel like I excel.
That's another thing, is that I don't really tend to spend much money, but when I do, then I look back and think, oh my gosh, if only I had known Marc before, we could have been living like this all these years.
Actually, I would say everybody says that. Everybody feels like, I wish I had done this sooner. Not only have we enjoyed it, our friends, our family have enjoyed it. It was the best money we spent.
Yeah.
I mean, where you live, that's your life. So that's where you should focus your time, your energy, your money.
Yeah, especially in California, we work so hard. When we go home, our home should be our sanctuary.
100%. It is your sanctuary. It has to be.
You also showed me your kitchen, and I said, well, do you guys cook? You cook every night.
Almost every night.
Isn't that wonderful?
I enjoy cooking, barbecuing, entertaining. It's my love language.
With this move and this new building that I love, I just love this, and having everything in one place, your warehouse. So someone, in fact, I was talking to Zai, and he said, because I was saying, I love that you have everything in one space. He said someone came in the other day and they had a certain need. So he went out, they brought out recliners and different chairs so they could sit in it right there. You've got your upholsterer, you've got your refinishers, you've got everything here.
Yeah, that particular situation, you're right. It was absolutely wonderful having the warehouse on site, because this was a guy that was like 6'6". He needed a recliner for, a very tall guy. And so I'm like, we have one. Give me 2 minutes. So we went back, we opened it, we brought it out. So that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to where we both started with, like, being in the country or growing up with livestock, etc., I think it's really important for people to know that they can come in and get that customization and that warm friendliness and be able to resolve their problem, not to be like, oh, I don't know if,
intimidated.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one thing that I would like to address. A lot of people feel intimidated coming in here because it's all shiny and
it's glamorous
but I always go back to when I was 18 years old in sales, and I had this farmer come in overalls. And he was there for like an hour, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's not going to buy anything. This is a waste of time. An hour later, he's like, I have to step out to my pickup truck. I'll be right back. I'm like, okay. He comes back in with a plastic grocery bag full of money. To this day, I don't judge a book by its cover. So If someone wants to come in their pajamas, their yoga clothes, it doesn't matter. We're going to treat you the same. I believe in Southern hospitality. Whether you're looking, you're buying, you're thinking, it doesn't matter. We're going to treat you just like we would anybody else.
I love that. When I was in college, I was working at a high-end boutique in Berkeley, and there was a woman and her daughter that would come in about every 6 weeks, and you would never think they'd ever buy anything. And they were my best customers. And I've known that about you forever, that you always are so kind and gracious to everyone.
Yeah, a lot of people feel like, oh, my house isn't nice enough to have you over, or my project isn't big enough. That's not true. Sometimes I'll go to someone's house and they'll go, I didn't make my bed. Neither did I. I was in a hurry, but I'm here on time. It's not a big deal. And I'm not even looking at that. I'm looking at how much light does this room get? Where are the outlets? What are your needs? What can I do? The wheels are turning thinking about that. I'm not thinking about your bed or your closet or anything else. And then those aren't the things I remember. But I can tell you when I was there where you have an outlet or things like that, because that's what I'm looking for.
And as a vendor, one of the things I know about you is that you have almost an unbelievable memory. You can go back for a year or 2 years ago and go, oh yeah, I already bought one of those or this or that. You always have an exact memory. You're so bright. So besides the talent and design aspect, you have such a great memory and a business mind, and that's very rare.
Thank you. It's fading.
Well, no, it's not.
But I try.
Where do you hope that this new place of business and your new showroom will take you in the future?
Number one, we try to create something different than what we had before. I think in design that you have to reimagine yourself. Things change, people change, I've changed. So this is kind of a 2.0 version of myself and what we do. This is a little different style. We're actually trying to have kind of 3 areas of the showroom. So there's a modern, transitional, and a traditional. We're trying to kind of divide it up so that it's not confusing, just make the experience easier to understand. I feel like the other store was very large and it overwhelmed people. Mm-hmm. That's the feedback I got. It's overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And everything was kind of all mixed together. The other thing that we've done here is we have all of the materials here. Like before, we would be bringing things in from different resources, whether it's flooring or tile or all of those things. We have everything on site now. So when a client comes in, I can make a comprehensive presentation without saying, okay, you need to get in the car and we have to drive to State College, or, we have to go here or we have to go there. None of that.
That's incredible. And when I walked in, I saw some product that I've never seen. And that's one of the things in my experience. I go from different places of business, design or retail stores, and every store looks the same. You've got vendors no one else has, and they've protected you, and it's spectacular product.
Thank you.
I mean, it must be very hard to find resources like that.
It is very hard. Honestly, get bored with seeing the same stuff over and over and over, and I know that I've heard that from consumers as well. Every store looks the same. Everybody has the same stuff. So I am attracted to the unusual and the different and something special. And that's what we're really trying to go for here is what can we offer that people can't find anywhere else? That's our goal.
Yeah.
Is to be different.
Well, clearly you've managed that. It's just spectacular. It's all fresh and it's new and it's not something I've seen before. So, and your lighting, everything you do is spectacular. You showed me your bar earlier, and the interior, I'm not quite sure, the interior panel is a beautiful velvet. And you guys did that in-house.
We did. We did that in-house. We've done several bars for clients, and they're all different, depending on their needs, whether they're entertainers, whether they're whiskey drinkers, or, you know, whatever the case may be. And we also customize them to the space that is available. But the reason we put a bar in the showroom is basically just to show people what we can do and the quality of our work. We're able to show our upholstery skills on the velvet, on the channeling on the front of the bar. We're able to show our stonework. We're able to show our cabinet work. You know, when you open the drawers, everything's soft close, rollouts. We're showing our lighting capabilities. That's the reason we put the bar in. Yes, it's fun, and people enjoy it, but we did it to show people what we're capable of.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else in the state that can do all of those things and know that you're going to watch every little item and cross your T's and dot your I's, and you're a perfectionist. To be able to turn that over and let you help someone is spectacular.
That's a good point. A lot of people who've done construction projects or design projects have been burned. Their contractor disappeared with their money. They paid a deposit. He never came back, or it took a year to finish something that should have taken 3 weeks. There's a lot of horror stories with clients. That's one good thing about working with us is all the people that we work with are trusted, and they know if they want to get another job from us, then they have to perform well, and perform on time. Knock on wood, I have not had a problem completing a job well or on time.
Well, and I've never heard that before. But I know you and I believe you. If I were to ask you to oversee a small project and, hopefully go into larger projects, it's probably none of my business, but do you charge for the oversight, or do you charge just for the furniture? How would we work like that?
It could be done a few different ways. So, for example, there's a lady that we're going to do ground up construction for. And we're going to manage the project from day one till the last day. That's an option. There's an option where we do all of the design and we give it to you, and you have your own trusted people that you work with and they do the work. That's fine. There's an option where we don't do any design work for you, but we furnish it. It could go basically whatever's good for you, whatever your needs are and whatever your comfort level is, we're good with that.
Marc, what would you say are some of your strongest talents when it comes to design?
The main thing I try to do to every project, or that I do with every project, is I apply common sense. What does that mean? I focus on maximizing storage. If it's in a kitchen, how is that efficient? Where did I place the trash can? Where did I place the dishwasher? In the bathroom, the biggest complaint I hear from women is the lighting's terrible. So I focus on the lighting placement. How many things do you use to do your hair? Is there a hair dryer? Is there a curling iron? Is yada, yada, yada. We don't want all that stuff out, but we also don't want to have to take it out and plug it in. So we want to integrate all of those items where they're stayed plugged in, but they're hidden, but easy to access. So I always focus on things like that to stay organized, efficient. How can your bathroom be beautiful? How can you get ready quickly without leaving a big mess?
What a luxury. I've never even considered being able to have something that special. How could working with you on a project potentially improve the quality of my life?
There's an example that comes to mind. So there's a client that the grandmother lives with them, and she does all the cooking, and she wears glasses. When I went to their house, they wanted to remodel their kitchen. By my standards, it's a large kitchen. They felt like they didn't have enough storage. The one thing I noticed was that they didn't have wall ovens. They had an oven under the cooktop. So the grandmother is having to bend down into the oven So she's opening the oven, her glasses are getting steamed up, she's hurting her back to lift something out of the oven. That doesn't work. So my first piece of advice was get rid of the lower oven. We do wall ovens. It solves a lot of her problems. The other part of that kitchen was there were no pullouts in the cabinets. So every time she wanted something, she had to kneel down and dig into the back of the cabinets. That's not efficient. Now they have all rollouts, wall oven. I mean, it's the same kitchen, same floor plan. They have probably 20% of the space that's empty. It's just more organized.
Wow, that's so thoughtful and very Southern hospitality for you to think of the grandmother like that. Tell me what you feel like your in-house upholsterer and your refinisher, because that's a talent that's really going away. How did you find them? And
we've been working together for many years. Angel, our refinisher, excellent. He is the first person here every morning and the last person to leave every day. He's just dedicated. An example of where his talents come into play would be, we have this client that, I went to their house and they have a lot of teak outdoor furniture. And it all looks really bad. And they were saying, well, we should probably replace this. We've been looking. And I'm like, no, we can make this look brand new for almost nothing. So we brought all the outdoor furniture back. Angel's, sanding it down, sealing it, refinishing it. It all is going to look 100% brand new. We saved the client a lot of money and we didn't waste anything.
Enormous. And now they have more money to spend doing another room.
Or put a kid through college, whatever they want to do. But I'm very conscious of, how hard people work for their money and not wasting it. So if I see an opportunity to save them some money or to get, more life out of something, I will do it and I'll recommend it. Now, if they say, no, we're just tired of it, we want something new, sure, no problem. Reupholstery, David, an artisan. Really, really, really talented. Sometimes we deal with, really inexpensive fabric, and sometimes we deal with something from, Italy that's $500 a yard. Mm-hmm. There's a big range. I trust him implicitly with A to Z. He never messes anything up. He takes his time, he does it right, he's meticulous. Every client's happy with his work. I'm happy with his work. We've used other upholsterers in the past. One dining chair is a little crooked, nails are crooked, whatever the case may be. I'm never going to stick a client with something that I don't believe in. So if I have to take it back and, redo it, I will. But luckily with David, he's an artisan and meticulous, and we don't have any problems.
It's such an art, and it's something that it's impossible to find now.
Yeah, it's impossible. Mm-hmm. It's impossible to teach.
And having your back end here in one building where you can look at everything, inspect it, so when it goes to your client's home, it's perfect already. Saves everyone a lot of trial and tribulation.
Yes, when we had an off-site warehouse, oh my gosh, I had to go over there almost every day, explain which way the fabric goes and how we want to do it. This is so much easier and more efficient. Like you said, you can go in the back if they have a question, answered. And again, I can, like you said, oversee everything on a daily basis. And when we do a job for somebody, that's why we can't take on so many projects at one time, is because if we're doing a remodel for you or for someone else, I go every day. And if I don't go every day, I almost go every day. But
wow,
in the heat of job, I'll go sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. It just depends. That's how you avoid a $5,000, $10,000 mistake, is by staying on top of it.
Yeah, or even much greater.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Marc, what is the biggest piece of advice you would give for someone thinking about redoing a living space in their home?
My biggest piece of advice would be, if you can't afford to do it right, don't do it. So why do I say that? From personal experience. If you say, you know what, I'm just going to go with this, I don't love it, it's cheaper, and you do it, you're going to look at it every day, you're not going to like it, and then if you're anything like me, it's going to drive you crazy, and then you're going to go, I can't live with this.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I agree. I've made so many mistakes trying to save a small amount of money that in the long term, I look back and think,
You pay double.
and wasted time.
You waste time. That's the biggest thing, is the waste of time. You have to spend so much time, being home or picking everything out or whatever the case may be. So it's the time and the money, but you end up basically paying for it twice.
I agree.
So just go in baby steps, do one thing at a time, and do it right.
I agree. I wish I knew that many years ago.
Likewise, I have definitely learned the hard way.
Thank you, Marc.
No problem. Thank you.